Hi, welcome to my video on percents, and this is practice number 1b is the topic of percents. And in this video I'm going to do all word problems. So when we do word problems, normally the teachers allow you to use your calculators, so that's what I'm going to do, use my calculator. Number 1, 8,000 is placed in two different bank accounts for 2 years. Account A is 12% annually. Account B is 12% annually, compounded annually. Account B earns how much more? Well, let's take account A. Account A, the formula for interest equals principal times rate times time. So the principal is $8,000. The interest is 12%. And the time is 2 years. So this is a simple interest. So we have $8,000. 12% is decimal 1, 2 times 2. Remember, the decimal in the 12% decimal is here. To change it percent to decimal, you move it 2 places to the right. So if we take up a calculator and multiply all this out, you will get $1,920 interest. That means, so after 2 years, you will have the initial 8,000 plus you will have $1,920 in interest. So that means you will have, if you add them up, you get 9,920. So in simple interest, you get 12% a year for 2 years. You'll have in the account 9,920. So account B, again we calculate it, but it's compounded annually. So compounded means you get interest on your interest, so you're going to make more money. So here's, if you want to work it all out, here we go. So interest equals principal times rate times time. And again, put $8,000 in the bank, and your interest is still the same, 12%, but it's for 1 year. So that's $8,000. Again, decimal 12 times 1. So that works out to be $960 when you sub that in your calculator. So after 1 year, you will have 8,000 in the bank that you put in, plus you have 960. So at the end of 1 year, you will have, add that up, you get $8,960. So now we go for the second year. So the second year we get interest equals principal, rate, and time. So now you have $8,960. The interest is 12%, and again it's for the second year. So you have $8,960 times 0.12 times 1. And when you multiply that out on a calculator, you will have $1,075.20 in interest. So after 2 years, you'll have your principal, which was $9,960, plus your interest, which is $1,075.20. And when you add all that up on a calculator or whatever, which way you want to do it, line them up, decimals up and add them, you get $10,035.20. So, as you can see here, because you have interest on interest, the difference is the interest amount that you had on this amount here. So you're getting 12% on this interest extra. So account B minus account A. So account B was $10,035.20. Make that an A. Minus 9,920, and that works out to be $115.20. So that $115.20 is the extra 12%. So if we took 12% of this amount right here, that would be this difference here, because you get interest on your interest. So notice the difference between simple interest and compounded. Compounded is you got to add on your interest each year. Number 2, find the percent of increase in the population of a town in 1 year. So the year is 2021, you had 20,000 people. 2022, you had 21,000 people. So that means the population, I'm going to call P, is 21,000 minus 20,000. So the difference in the population, difference is 1,000. So that means the population grew 1,000 people. So that means your percent of increase, so your percent of increase, let's put INC, percent of increase is your 1,000 over the initial, which is 20,000. So that'll give you your percent of increase. So you cancel the 0, you cancel the 0, you cancel the 0. When you do that, you get 1 over 20. And 2 ways to do it. 1 over 20 could be 20 multiplied by 5, you get 100. Multiply 1 by 5, you get 5. So that's 5 over 100. So that's 5% increase. And again, 5% of 20,000 will give you 1,000. Another way to convert this right here is to change 1 over 20 to a decimal, and you get decimal 0.5. So you could change this to a decimal, divide 20 into 1 with your calculator, and you get, so 1 over 20 would become 0.05 as a decimal, and so decimal 0.5, move it two places to the right, and you get 5%. Number 3, a coat tag price is $240. Find the cost if there is a 40% discount and a sales tax of 8.5%. So the price of the coat. So what we have the price of the coat is $240, and you get a discount of 40%. So that's $240 times 40%. Decimal is right there. Move it 2 places to the left is decimal 40. You could have 0.40 or just decimal 4. So when you multiply that on a calculator, you will have the amount of discount is, that'll come out to be 96.00, or just $96. So you have a discount of $96, so your $240 minus your discount of 96 will give you that you're paying $144 for your coat. Now we have a sales tax, so you take the $144 and you find your sales tax, which is 8.5%. So you have $144, and 8.5% is decimal 0.85. And when you multiply that on a calculator, you'll get 12.24. So that sales tax is added on. So the price of the coat, so we say price, is you got $144 plus you got a sales tax of $12.24, and when you add it up, you get 156.20. Yep, 126 point. So I just want to check that something. Just check that multiplication there now. Turn on my calculator first. Here we go. 144 times decimal 0.85, just to make sure. Right, 12.24. And when we add that up, we get 156.24. Again, you do your discount. Now there's another way, and a lot of people don't do this. But when I go to stores sometimes, I tell people, yes, you're working this out, but it's easier to do. Watch this. If you, right here, you're getting 40% and getting 96 and subtracting the 96. I tell people in the stores to do this. And they said, I never knew that. If there's 100% of the price and you take off 40%, that means you have 60% left to pay. So if you take the price of the jacket and multiplied it by decimal 60%, or decimal 60, so that's 60%, which is decimal 60, you will get your 144 right away. Again, 40% is your discount, take it off. But if you subtract your percent, you're only paying 60%, and so it's 60% is 144. So it's easier to subtract the percent and then multiply that percentage, and you'll get it as much faster. That's the way I do it when I go to stores to figure out. Number 4, a salesperson receives a weekly salary of $900 plus a commission of 10%. How much does a person earn in 1 week if the following items were sold? TV, $2,400, a washer, $1,300, a dryer for $1,100. So the cost is we got a TV for $2,400. We have a washer for $1,300. We have a dryer for $1,100, and these are all dollars. So when you add all that up, you'll get 4,800. So that's the items that he sold, and he gets a commission of 10%. So the $4,800 with a 10% commission. So commission is percent of the earnings, so it's 10% of whatever his sales are. So 10% is decimal 10, and decimal 10 is 0.1. So that's, use a calculator or use your head. It becomes that 480. So 10% is 1/10. So you divide by 10, you get $480. So he has $480. So his salary at the end of the week. So his salary, I call it SAL, is $900. His commission, I call COM just for short, is $480. So his earnings for that week is the total of, you get a 0, 8. He made $1,380 in that week. Commission is amount that he gets on his sales and 10%. So again, you do the commission on the sales, get the total sales, get the percentage, and add it onto his salary. And we have a couple more to do to finish this percentage unit as a review. Number 5, 2,000 milliliters of oil is placed in 4 containers, A, B, C, and D. How many milliliters, I could say is or are in the tank? How many milliliters, let's put an R here. I had it rubbed out, I had an is. How many milliliters are in tank D? So that should be an R there. I rubbed it out and forgot to put R in. So we have 40%. So I'm just going to write down 40. We have a 26%. We have a 21%. So that's the total in percentage. I didn't put the percentage in, but when you add all that up, you get 87. So that comes out to be 87%. So all the oil is put in at 100%. So if you fill all these up, you have 100% of it, but the total is 100%, subtract 87, so you have 13% left. So that means D has 13% of the oil. So that's 13% times the total of 2,000. And so that's decimal 13 times 2,000. Again, you use your calculator, you will get 260 milliliters. So by subtracting the total percents out of 100 and taking 13%, you will get 260. Now you could go and get 40%, work that out, get 26%, work that out, get 21% and work that out, and add all them up and then subtract it from 2,000 and you'll get 260. But it's easier to add the percents, take the percents away, and 13%, only one multiplication. So it's easier to add these, then subtract, and take 13% of the total. And we have one more to do. A website charges a tax of $20.25, which is 6 3/4% of the item's price before taxes. If an 8% shipping fee is added to the final cost, what is the price of the item charged to the MasterCard? So what we have is a website charges a tax of $20.25, which is 6 3/4 of the price. So we have 6 3/4% of, so that's times, of the price. So that's 6 3/4% of the price is the $20.25. So that's 6 3/4 is 3/4 of a dollar, so that's 75. So that's 3/4 is 75, decimal 75. So let's change that 3/4 first. Now, percent to a decimal, let's move the decimal 2 places to the left. 675 times P equals $20.25. So we divide by decimal 0.675 because that's a multiplication, the opposite is division. So we'll do that, that cancels out. So P is $20.25 divided by decimal 675. And if you do that division, you will get 300, which is $300. So the cost of the item was $300. Now, we got to find out the tax. So the tax that you're paying is $300, and you're paying an 8% tax. So that's $300, and 8% is a decimal there, so it goes 2 places to the left, so it's decimal 0.8. When you multiply that on a calculator, you will get as I said 300, right? So the tax, just to make sure, no, that's the price, but we also got to do the tax. I forgot to put the tax on this. So the tax is $20.25. I forgot to put the taxes on. So the article costs $300 with a tax of $20. So we line them up. So we get $320.25. I forgot to add the taxes onto the price. So the tax is already, so hope layer here. So I have a cost, the shipping cost is on this $320. So you take $320.25, and you're going to pay 8% shipping fee. So that's $320.25 times decimal 0.8. So notice the tax is already this amount. So this is totally wrong. I forgot to add the taxes on, sorry. Just a little slip up, but I corrected myself. And when I multiply this out, 8% of that with a calculator, I'll get $25.62. So what amount are you going to charge? So the final price or the final cost on the card is this called price. The final price to the card is $320.25 plus the shipping charge, which is $25.62. So the total price is $345.87. So I apologize for that little error there. I forgot to add the taxes on. I found the price, $300, taxes, $320.25. Then I have to take 8% of that price, because that's the price that you pay at the store. But because it's an online site, you're going to have it shipped, so you got to pay $25.62. Add it on. There's the price of your article. So sorry for that little slip up there, but that happens. But I corrected myself. And again, this brings us to the end of the review on percents. Again, you can, if you like my video, click on the like button, click on the subscribe button, visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. That's the content on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained, just one word. Thank you for viewing my video. Hope the video helped you. Bye-bye.